Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Thing is crazy, it never works. There they are. Not sure what they're barking at over there. Penny and Clancy barking, barking, barking. By the way, the trolls said we use shock collars. They go, Gray uses shock collars. No, we have these ones that buzz. They go, bzz. They're like, what? You know, people are idiots. They don't give a damn what you say. All right. Anyways, and we don't even use them right now because they haven't been barking that much. Maybe they worked. Who knows? Anyways, I made a video today. It's, you know. It did not many, you know, it's got okay watches, but not really. Not sure what the hell's going on. I did want to bring some, I think it was Paulette Leonard sent me a link. Look how weird this is. You remember that, let's see, the case of Grant, hold on. I don't know why her name's not in there. Hold on. Grant Solomon. He was like a baseball player, and then his dad took him to some place, and then his truck rolled over him. But then, you know, the mother thinks that he was run over by the father is actually the one that did it. But then, you know, look at this crazy stuff. This lady right here, I mean, this is wild, you guys. Let me just show you something. Here, watch this. This is from 2 years ago on my channel.
Easter Sunday.
Right there.
And that
this kid right here, Grant, got killed.
I went into shock in there. And
were you like in a room with a bunch of people? You're in jail, right? For 3 days.
I was in jail. Like I was not in with the weekenders. Like the detectives, people I'd made friends with thought he's, I think he's making pictures of me in the bathtub. I think because he won't let me get in the bathtub unless he's home, and my grandmother will not.
Anyways, so I mean, you can go watch this on YouTube. I interviewed her for like 3 hours, you know, and that's the truck. Her son was found underneath that truck right there, and you know, she was on the whole time, and then remember at the end, just somebody coming out and going, look, the daughter came on, and now. Check this out. With assistance from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, Franklin police arrested that lady, same one that's in the picture, you know, right there, these two, Angela Solomon, Friday afternoon on the charge of solicitation to commit first-degree murder against her ex-husband, former WSMV Channel 4 news anchor Aaron Solomon. Angelia Solomon, 55, a resident of Franklin, is being held on $500,000 bond, according to release from the Franklin Police Department. I mean, how crazy is that, you guys? I mean, that's absolutely insane. You know, she came on the show. She sent me all kinds of bits of information, but there was something a little, I don't know. There's just always something a little off. Like she was too into stuff that I didn't see what she was saying when she'd say certain things. But so that's why I kind of didn't keep jumping, following the case for a long time. I always get sort of nervous when somebody wants you to help, and then there's stuff that they're saying that really it doesn't sound right. Then I lose my enthusiasm. If I see it that it's okay, wow, that's crazy. Ooh, look at that. Like my father's alibi, for example. Yeah, that's the difference. But hey, guys, last night we didn't even come close to the goal on the channel here, so I'm hoping that tonight we can, reach the goal. Is that a possibility? I mean, last night we had one of the worst nights in like 45 days. So if we, if you guys have the ability to help support the channel tonight while we go discuss whatever we want to discuss, that'd be great. I just don't know what the rhyme or reason is on a nightly basis on what makes somebody want to support the channel and what night somebody doesn't want to. I have no idea. That's the part that makes it hard. You come on here, you'll do like 2 hours and nobody's, it's just, what do you do? Keep doing another hour? It's just wild. And last night's show had so few views, and, it's just absolutely, I just removed the video, right? And that shows you, that's why I can't. And by the way, if you have a video that gets really poor views, YouTube seems to affect your algorithm like that. They're like, ooh, wow, people just aren't interested. And so you just can't leave it up there. So again, it affects the cold kit. You could leave it there, but it's going to affect your channel. At least that's what I was told a while back. I don't know if they've modified that or changed it, something like that. Yep, good evening. And tomorrow we finally get to take parents back to, both of them together, to the home that there's, it's kind of like a assisted living, but it's also independent living too. It's the same. Everybody's just there. So that should be good. Yep, looks like the day's starting just off like yesterday. Let's see. So I kind of want to just go back over some of the same stuff that what my video was about. Yep, good to hear. Yep. I'm just reading the comments. Thanks, Donna. It's a miracle. Thank you. Absolute miracle. Yep. All right. So we're gonna. I don't know. When you watch the video today, did it all make sense to you? Because it seems like some people just, they don't really get what I'm talking about, and it's frustrating to me. Like in their comments when I read them, they don't seem to match what I was saying, and it makes you wonder if they were even listening, or how it, what's going on with that. Yeah, isn't that crazy? It took you so long to watch one of my videos. Well, there's Lisa Valenzuela with a coffee. And there's Allie Cake. I'll eat cake, as it were. Yeah, and then I guess Steve Gonzalez and his wife at some point were talking about how I don't know, I guess people think they saw Kohberger in those other trips that he would take, sitting around in a vehicle. That would be interesting. If there's surveillance footage of his white Elantra like parked back behind in the neighborhood, that would be pretty crazy. Hey, thanks, Michelle Kishel. Oh, what the heck? Cheryl Moran. Michelle said, appreciate all the work you put in. And then Cheryl Moran with a double cat eye. That put us almost to 50% in one swoop. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it would be interesting. It would be interesting. I'm just totally... This case is really... I've got it. It's so interesting to me because I feel like I know all the aspects of it really well. You know, I'm sure I miss a point here and there, you know, that kind of thing. Like, but the entire thing, I get it. You know, and so it feels like there's a huge battle, and I think what's going to happen again. You would, well, you know, I don't know. I think in this case, the media, for the most part, it won't be like in the Richard Allen case. That they'll definitely jump. They'll realize the significance of the information. I forgot what I was going to show you guys. Sort of doing something. Saw something new happening with DNA in the Bay Village. Oh yeah, cool. All right. Yeah, well, if that ever turns into something, we'll definitely cover that. I've covered the Mihaljevic case probably 3-4 times on here. That's a crazy one. That one definitely needs to be solved. I guess that would have been the answer to the question that somebody asked a couple days ago about, like, what case is it that you'd still want? Or no, it was ChatGPT asked me that. That would be at the Amy Mihaljevic case. I forgot what her middle name is. I think it might be Marie. Anyways, thanks, Cheryl. That was really, really kind of you. Hopefully, if we get some other people to support the channel tonight, we can reach the goal. And whenever I miss the goal dramatically, I get really nervous about the next day. Because then you're starting to get behind. Let's see. She was little sister's friend. Oh yeah. Do you think he parked at 713 Taylor? I mean, yeah. Are you the one that was commenting in the comments section? Hey, Gray, you didn't bring up 713. How did you neglect 713? What the hell are you guys talking about? Who cares? It's wherever, you know, I don't know where he parked. It could be anywhere, okay? It's just bizarre. You're the second person in one day to bring that up. Who gives a crap? Do you think he parked here? I don't know. He could have. Yeah, he could have parked there, walked up this little alley and looked over there. You know, and I mean, definitely, sure. You know, he could have parked there. He could have parked right where this car is. Could have parked right there. He could have parked right here. He could have parked right there. He could have parked right there. He could have parked right here. He could have parked right there. There. I mean, all these spots. It's amazing. Maybe even right there, and perhaps even there. And he could have parked right over in here. I'm just saying there's something that's missing, the time, okay? Hey, Alley Kate gifted a membership. And that's, oh God, Brumman got one. What are the odds of that? Wow. Yeah, who knows? Definitely possible, I gotta admit. It's possible it parked right there too, right? And then he walked right over here and was looking. Maybe he parked right there and then walked up that alley that's right there. You just never know. As a matter of fact, I can show you exactly where that is if we go on this thing and maybe go over to here. Nope, further back. Nope, further back. Yeah, right there. Maybe just back a little bit more. Let's see, is that the one? Yeah, so it's just to the right. We're standing about right here in that 360-degree video. So if I go back just a little more, right there, okay? So, you know, is it possible that, one of the worst, I can't stand that phrase, but that he parked, down there. Let me go back to where I was. I like that one better. Yeah, like right there somewhere, and then came up here and then stood there and looked like that. And then he just waited and waited and kept watching. Maybe he was like checking out the building, checking out the lights, etc. Thank you, uniquely Susie, retired hospice RN. And thanks, Allie Cake, for getting at least that one membership in here. We got to get more of those out there. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. That doesn't make any sense, Sully, what you typed in there. Yeah, I mean, are you saying out on... I mean, okay, I guess what you're saying is out here. Like, yeah, I mean, that's what I said in my video. That maybe he stopped along here and could see through there. But Taylor Avenue, if you're talking about Willanta Drive, then maybe. But out here, you really can't see very well. It's not like there's a whole bunch of spots over here. It just doesn't make sense, you know? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense what you typed in. From over here, you can see. I might actually go there with my 360-degree camera and walk like 5 miles with that damn thing so that we have the entire loop, everything inside of this on 360-degree camera. What do you guys make it? What do you guys think of that? I think that'd be worth doing. Where you actually have, maybe I walk down Linda Lane, right here, the whole thing. Walk all the way from inside of here, back and around again, up in here, down the street, then walk all the way up here like this, and then take this left here, walk all the way here, take this path, walk this one once, then back up like that. And then back around again, and then up over here, and film near this building, the Ridge Road camera, and then back up that direction, and then all the way back around past Linda Lane. Then actually go down the Linda Lane over here, get that all squared away. Don't you think that'd be worthwhile? Hey, thanks, Ashley Yeager. And thank you, Donna, for gifting a membership to Vintage Peacock. It's not that far, actually. Let's see how far that is. I bet you it's not even a mile. That's 1.3 miles just to do the loop. That's nothing. I think it'd be totally worth it. It's also a possibility I could fix it to the top of my car somehow and drive somewhat slowly, but I don't know. Thank you, Michelle H. Now that so many people believe 2 people committed these murders, what's gross about it? I don't get it. Why do people think 2 people did it? Who's saying that? That makes no sense. All right, let's see if we can get the non-Cheryl Moran support up a little bit, because currently we're only at $20 without her, which means that we're struggling looking at the numbers. And pretty soon, we've already donated $500 this month so far to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and we're approaching the halfway mark of the month. So hopefully at the end of the month, we can get somewhere near what we did last month and do another 5,000 or so. That'd be great. And that comes right out of the income to the channel via ad revenue, super chats, etc. And of course, my channel makes income as well. And Taylor said what? And Taylor is... I actually think the judge is going to deny her attempt to have a third-party suspect because there is nobody out there that she can create a nexus to the crime with. There is nobody. Okay? That's just not going to happen. This judge is no nonsense and is not going to allow her to do a third-party argument because there isn't anybody. If there was, we'd all hear about it. We have Gray. It's Brent Kopaka. Hey, thanks, Timothy Moore. And thanks, Ashley Yeager. And Lisa Valenzuela. No, that's... Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Some people think like... you know, the cops that pulled over the people at Band Field, you know, Koberger was in the area at 3:30. They were there at like 3. You know, maybe they could have passed each other. It's not, you know, whatever. It just doesn't mean a damn thing. And not only that, what difference would it make? It's not like they'd say, oh, look, there's a car driving. He's going to be a killer. Do we know what the motive is? Like, has he been stalking them or... well, it's, you know... we don't really need to know what the motive is. He's just psycho. Do you know what Ted Bundy's motive was? You know, do you know what any of these nut jobs' motive is? They just do what they do. It's not like, oh my God, she broke up with me and then the person turned into a killer. Okay, there isn't something like that. It's motivated by something sort of deeper. Said what in the hearing that I streamed? Yeah, I mean, going for another person, who cares? They're dumb. They're not going to get one. They try to make an argument. They're going to have to try. They haven't had time to look into this really viable suspect. And I bet you that's Brent Kopaka. They're going to try to... and he's not viable whatsoever. There's no connection. There's no correlation. There's absolutely nothing to do with it. And, you know, maybe the defense... I'm surprised the defense isn't doing what they did in Delphi. Looking... You know, maybe they're trying to figure out who it was that... Law enforcement said at the hearing that they had, I mean, in the documents, it said that there were a couple other, early on when they were looking for phone data, that there was a couple other people they were interested in. Or maybe it was, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I cared, and the person who said something... cared to comment. Well, what do you mean? Jesus. What are you guys talking about? He's on Taylor's looking south at Xana's. Right. It's not Taylor. It's not Taylor. It's not Taylor Avenue. It's Willanta Drive. Okay? This right over here is Willanta Drive right here. That's not Taylor Avenue. Yeah, I've said many times that he could have pulled over right here and looked over there to check sometimes. But that's not what he was doing in the pass number 3. He wasn't doing that. You can't sit on a blind curve like that for minutes. Well, GSUPM, I'm gonna have to time you out again. You're just you're having one of your benders again. All right, have a good one. Every night you create issues. Every single night. It's just, You kind of remind me of another person that used to come here often. I wonder if you're the same person that used a different name. Let's see. Opposite the band field. Ah, Jesus. I'm not interested solely. You can't see the room over here from over here. There's like a little tiny window through here. Okay, we've gone through this many times. You know, I thought maybe he pulled over and he's trying to look over to see the house, but it's not, you can't see very well. Okay, you can't see very well over there. Let's see. Solely, okay, I'm just done talking to you about it. What you're saying doesn't make sense. I apologize for you. Let's see. I think the white car was picking up people who used... No, the white car was Koberger. That's who the white car was, Brian Koberger. It's obvious, right? The vehicle was missing a front license plate. You know, Koberger, and it was a 2015 or 14 Elantra driving around. Thank you, B. Stride, do it yourself. Were they trying to say he is autistic? Yeah, they're trying to pretend that well, they're trying to say he's autistic, and because of his autism, he should be spared the death penalty because he couldn't control what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't care if... What a dumb comment, Karen. Why do you make comments like that? It's just unbelievable. I don't get it, man. This is going to be one of those nights again, isn't it? I don't care if somebody gave me $10 billion. If they make rude comments and they create turmoil in the chat, I'm going to treat them exactly the same. I don't care, okay? And you should know that because I've timed you out before. It's ridiculous. Gray's mean to his chat. Ugh. Why don't you look at what they do, okay? Maybe you could try that sometime. It's embarrassing. It's almost a shame that, yeah. I walked in Fort Langley today. Hope you're doing great. Huh? I don't know what that means. Hey, Alec, good to see you. No, I try to... You're not. You never are. Karen, come on. There's many nights where you've been absolutely not respectful whatsoever to many people in the chat. And let's just be honest, okay? I'm glad you're being respectful tonight, but just now you said some ridiculous comment like you normally do. I don't care if somebody donated money. If you're coming in here and you're, you know, just saying all kinds of crap and going on and on and on, and then I ask a question, then it's like, I care, and you sort of get like a crappy attitude going. It's just not going to work out. I just don't have time for it. Hey, look at that. Alley Kick gifted a membership to trying to find a cure, I guess. The Elantra without the sunroof was on Ridge Road. No, it wasn't. Wait, which one are you talking about? Oh, yeah. There was no Elantra with a sunroof, you guys. Why do people keep talking about that? That's what I'm talking about. There was no Elantra with a sunroof anywhere near this night at all. Okay? There was a different car with a white sunroof that showed up at some random hour that has nothing to do with anything. I think it might even be in this this video. Let's see if we can try to like scrub through it and try to find it. Let's see. Yeah, look at that crap. Yep, the part from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. is not completed. Okay, so I guess there's some... what do you mean the part from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. is not completed? I don't know what that means. Right, it's not completed because you removed the portion that had the... that would have picked up all the different movements of the vehicle. Okay, right there. There's a guy standing there. Do you see that? Okay, here's the vehicle part. And look, there's a guy standing here, right? This is at 4:59. Apparently he's a killer waiting to be picked up by the person who set it up, if you ask some of these lunatics online. And look at, he's smoking a cigarette, looking at his cell phone. Yeah, that's obviously the same guy that was digging through it earlier. Okay. And then a vehicle comes and picks it up. I'm not sure if this is the one with the sunroof in it. I think it might have been earlier. It might have even been earlier than even any of this. Like, hold on. I'm just clicking forward. Hey, thanks, just live. What do you mean, you bet he spoke to the other driver? What does that mean? I bet they spoke to all the other drivers and it wasn't them. I'm not sure what you're talking about. What does that even mean? There was no sunroof. Any of the surveillance that we've ever shown on this show had no sunroof in it. Not once. Okay? That's a reality. Now, if you're being told that on other channels, they're lying to you. I'm just telling you right now. None of the vehicles that are part of the 330 to 420 time frame that we've seen has a sunroof. It's a white Elantra, missing a front license plate, suspect vehicle 1. Now, you can't see the missing front license plate in every video, of course. Or you can't see that it doesn't have one in every video. The headlight flare balcony. What does that mean? I don't know. What difference does it make what the dumpster... Look, there's a guy right here. Here's Dumpster Boy. Okay, here's a guy walking to a dumpster, everybody. Oh my God, he must be a killer. To make that logical leap is insane, okay? It's literally insane. He's looking in the dumpster, probably a bum looking for whatever, a can. Maybe you can get a couple cans to collect. Who the hell knows, man? Hey, I put the knife in the dumpster. Make sure to collect it. Make sure to collect it, okay? Then once you find it, you notice he was still looking for something as he was walking away. I mean, he must not have found it, but then walked away. No, Karen, you don't stand up for other people. You in the chat nightly, you create drama. It's wild. The show isn't about you, okay, Karen? Yeah. Did you know the DoorDash delivery? Hey, thanks so much, Jax D. Great work always. Haha, you're funny. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is, you guys, I don't like... I'm not sure what it is, but my channel, even the supporters are trolls half the time. It's crazy. It's like, what in the hell's going on, man? Wild stuff. If I was the delivery driver and lived that close, I'd most likely move also. You don't know where the delivery driver lived, you guys. None of you do. None of us know who the delivery driver was. And we don't know where he lived. Okay, so I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. Don't you think the defense is going to key in on the car with the sun? No, they're not going to key on the car with the sunroof angle because it's not. It's like at a completely different time. I mean, I don't even know if it's on this video here. I think it came by at like I mean, if I remember right, it was some just crazy hour. It had nothing to do with it. I wish I could find it. I don't know exactly when it was, but and look, that's what the ground looked like, by the way. There's a little bit of snow piled up on the sides, etc. I'll tell you what I don't like on here is I don't like when people think if they donate and support a channel that they can be rude to people. Okay, like I do my show the way I do it, and some nights I'm not as jovial as others, etc. And maybe people don't like the way I am, but what I don't like is people in the chat who, if you send money in, all of a sudden you think you get to be rude to everybody else sitting there, and that's just not reality. Okay, I don't care about that, but there's people that they come in here and they're supporting the channel all the time, and they're really nice to the people that show up, and they make up for my shortcomings, and I really appreciate those people. But if you're coming in here and you think that you can start like attacking people, it's just not going to work, and it doesn't make you any different than anybody else. Yeah, it doesn't matter if they donate a lot. I just told you that, Kino. You must have missed it 47 times. Hey, thanks, Sandy Shirley. Yeah, thanks for your email, Sandy Shirley. Yeah, I know who... I don't think your Colby Ryan thing was a good comparison, but I think the rest of what you said I agreed with. It's exactly like that. Yeah, no, it's just all the time. It's crazy. I mean, I'm not saying like every night Karen's doing that, but it's just she's done it, and so is the other. Forget it, man. I'm so tired. I just want to do shows and talk about stuff. Sarah with an H. Thank you for continued coverage. And Cinnamon Sin Freak. Who doesn't like that name, by the way? That's such a perfect name. Did you put the word freak at the end because we're called freaks, or you're just a freak of cinnamon? What's that sound? Oh, that's the over here. Yeah, I don't remember what time the car drove by that had the. All right, let me just get this off the screen here. This is meaningless stuff. Okay, good, Karen. All right, sounds good. See, those kind of comments that you make. Gray is not going to manipulate. Yeah, it's just I'm so. All right. So what you're basically saying is, oh, okay, Gray, I'll stay out of the chat. You just do your show. Okay. So I wouldn't going to be able to do my show if you stayed in chat? Haven't you watched the hours? Yeah, I've watched it, Holly. Have you? I don't remember exactly when the sunroof was there. Do you? Do you know what time it was, Holly? Give me the time, quickly. The Linda Lane foot. I've watched all of the. Well, here's the truth, everybody. If you, I watched the time frame when the Banfield guys were there, because there's a sound of a horn, and I was able to match it up with the Linda Lane footage. I'm getting rid of this person quick. Let's see, what else we got here? A show called Law and Crime interviewed DoorDash guy. DoorDash guy says he grateful an arrest was made. He says he lives 1,200 from murder house. 1,200 feet. That's pretty far away. Yeah. And when did they interview DoorDash guy, Gretchen? I'd like to see that. Can you send it to me? That's like 12 1,200 feet's what, 400 yards away, a quarter mile. It's not like right across, right behind the house, as everybody said. Okay, so sunroof. Okay, 315 sunroof. All right, here we go. Let's go look at that amazing sunroof footage. It means so much, everybody. It's just absolutely pivotal point of the case. I don't know how anybody hasn't figured that out yet. I'm being facetious, by the way. Okay, there's a guy at a dumpster at 315. Yeah, I see him. I thought you said there was a sunroof guy there at 315. Does he come up right after that? Okay. Okay, it's 3:15:48. It's not there. You missed it, Holly. You missed it. Darn it. You said 3:15 sunroof car at dumpster. It's not there. And then right below it, you said 3:15 man goes towards house, returns the car in back lot. You guys are crazy, man. I swear to God. Like certifiable Looney Tunes. Hey, thanks, Von Dazen. People to go work. To heck with it. I just get so tired, you know. There it was, the guy walking. It's been a while. Okay, well, where's the sunroof person? I mean, don't you think it's just incredibly, like a huge stretch? Just because you don't want Koberger to be the guy, that you sit here and you tell us all that because there's a guy standing over at this dumpster and then he walks back up here, he therefore is the killer. I mean, my God, it's an apartment complex, for God's sakes. Look at this guy. Oh, he must be the killer now. Because all killers like to wear white jackets so they can be seen easily. Yeah, that's a smart move. Yeah, so look at where that is right over here. So here's Linda Lane. That's the dumpster right here. And that guy just walked like this. He was right there and he walked back. And guess what this is? An apartment complex. So is this right here and right there. And that's another building. Okay, so this person walks back here and somehow he's the killer because you want him to be one. There is nothing else that points to him. Like, for example, wouldn't the other Linda Lane camera pick him up walking at like 3:17 or so, right? Wouldn't it pick him up back there? And then even if it did pick him up there, it still heads to more apartment complexes. The key to the case is the white Elantra and how it was parked. Hey, look at that. Jen K gifted a membership. Very cool, very cool. And I'm sorry that you guys sometimes have to hear the drama in here. It's just, that's not what I want it to be. I'm just trying to read what people are saying, and then when you get like flip back bullcrap comments, it's see, at 3:48, 3:51, a man raises a gun. No, he doesn't. You think he's racking a gun. That is not what that sound is. You guys are crazy people. I've listened to that. It's just a sound of metal. Why do you think it's and by the way, a gun wasn't used in the case. So what difference, even if it was a racking of a gun, what does it have to do with the case? That's at 3:48 also. And you're talking about the other Linda Lane footage, right? Man, it's so hard to deal with these conspiracy theory nut jobs. It's just over and over and over. I don't know where these people are from, man. I know what they want. They watch the nut job clown, the nut job UK guy, the other guy with the glasses and a little something on his head. And, it's just yeah. Yeah, and they all like feed off of each other and repeat the same thing and add a little nuance to it. Hey, let me just tell you something, Holly. When the case goes to trial and you start hearing the mountain of evidence, will you believe it, or will you still believe you're clowns? Yes, they are used to control people, but he didn't need to control anybody in there. I already know when the I've heard the sound that people claim as a gun rack, and it just isn't true. Okay, it isn't. So it could be, you know how the metal doors and you open it. You know what a gun rack? Yeah, I know what a gun rack sounds like. That didn't sound exactly like a gun rack. It just sounds like metal, a door opening or something. And by the way, I mean, you think the gun rack guy. Oh my God, it's creepy. Yeah, so my main point of the video that I put out today, though, was that there's a vehicle. The part that I'm just perplexed by is how a vehicle can go south twice without it going north in between in a minute and some odd seconds. So that's one of the things that I need. Like this right here, this is the one. See this? So headlights are seen traveling north on Walenta Drive. Behind, let me just explain it over here while I'm talking. It's right over here. Headlights are seen traveling north in this direction. See what I'm doing? At 3:50:27. Then, about a minute later, it's coming back the same direction. So where was it? Because if it had gone back here, this camera would have picked it up. Had it driven past here, apparently that camera could pick it up. However, that footage is missing online. And to be honest with you, the information that's in this document almost verifies that footage is missing. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. That's why I'm so interested in this, because the document that just came out it does verify. It's absolutely consistent without anything, without any outliers at all, that this camera footage is literally missing from 3:30 to 4:05. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you need me to explain it? Like I can... I don't know. You know, my whole thing is, who would erase it? Like, the thing is that's weird. I don't know. I mean, and it would be the person who would erase it, if they did it intentionally, wouldn't want to be able to... It would almost be like somebody that Koberger was friends with. That's it. I don't know if anybody has it, but let me just tell you what I'm talking about here. I can show it to you again. I think... I don't need that one. So let's just use this one. So I'll put all these in a row. So we got this one at 3:45. Look what it says. It's the same wording. They just cut and paste every time. Watch this. Headlights are seen traveling north on Walenta Drive. Behind. This is right here. This is... let me turn off all this crap. It's too much. Yeah, so this building right here is 1119 King Road, right there. That means the vehicle is heading north behind there at 3:45:07. The headlights are traveling north on Walenta Drive behind 1119 King Road. Then look what time it is, 3:47:08. So that's 2 minutes and 1 second later, right? It's heading back this direction, okay? So... where was the vehicle? Because that means the vehicle went this direction and then came back this way without another sighting. But we know for certain that there's a camera back here, there's a camera right there, and there's a camera right here. So that means the vehicle is relegated to being like in this area, except for the fact that even on the footage that's online, it says from 3:30 to 4:05, the footage is missing from this camera right here. Okay, so it could have driven by here and maybe stopped somewhere over here. It did not come down here by Ridge Road, right here, because this building has cameras on it, and it did not pick it up coming this way or that way. So that means it's also relegated to being in that 2-minute period somewhere up in there, right? But if it had passed Linda Lane here and that camera was working, then that means it has to have been inside of this area for those 2 minutes. Does that make sense? That's right. That's what I said. If it's an error, it's an error. But it almost doesn't seem like it is an error, and the reason why is because it says south twice, and the time frame it's this one right here. So then at 3:50:27, it's traveling north again behind 1119 King Road, right? Then it goes south 2 times in a row. And look how different the time is. It's not like, oh, I accidentally put the same one in there twice. You have 2 completely different times, and the vehicle is spotted going south. This one is, the 3:50:27 to 3:52:42. That's 2 minutes and 15 seconds, which kind of correlates to the first one, right? That took 2 minutes. So I just removed one of these. I think one of these is either another car or it's an error. That's what I said. But either way, it doesn't matter. That's just an outlier, something on the side that I talked about. Again, we have the car traveling north, and then it comes south again on either one of these two, but we don't know where the vehicle was in that time frame, where it goes like this, and then it goes like that. We don't know where it went. Okay? And then it does it again. I mean, it's crazy. We have the third one. The headlights are seen traveling north on Walenta Drive behind 1119 King Road. So it's going like this. Now, if it did that, look what time that would be. That's not the one. It was, hold on. So if it did that, it would be, it's 3:53:36, so you would expect about 40 seconds later to be driving right here. But it wasn't. It didn't do that. It was literally 2 minutes and like 50 seconds later. The vehicle drives back here. So that means the vehicle went like this, and then went somewhere, over here somewhere again, and then eventually came back and then came in, but didn't seem to trigger the Linda Lane camera or the Ridge Road camera, etc. So it went north, and then almost 3 minutes later it comes back like that. Where was it? It could be parked in these parking lots here. It could have parked on the side of the road where a lot of these cars are. It could have been anywhere. But I mean, when I say anywhere, I mean that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm eliminating anywhere. I'm actually saying that it obviously didn't drive back this way. It didn't go down King Road. It apparently doesn't pass Linda Lane, or they surely would have mentioned it, right? Because they were laying out all of their surveillance footage tracking the vehicle. Thank you, Alley Cake. All right, so now let's take another look at the one that really sort of solidifies, like, what? Maybe that footage really is missing. It's this one. So this one says, a vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 travels south then east on Lauder Avenue, but it's right before that. That's when it leaves. Let's see what it did. This is when it follows the DoorDash driver. Remember that? So when, like, I can actually do this by hand because I remember how it went. So like at 3:59, Koberger's vehicle's driving out right here, and that's right when the DoorDash guys, they might have passed each other or were very close to each other, but if you remember in my video, the white Elantra drove out like this, and then so it went south at like 4 o'clock and 15 seconds, and then it immediately must have turned around because it's right over here again at I think it's like 4 o'clock and 50 seconds. I don't remember the exact time frame, but it drives by right here, And then it's like almost like he looks over there and still sees the DoorDash there, so it doesn't go into the complex. And then heads this direction, like that. And surely that's a sighting that we're 100% certain that the car passed Linda Lane. It drove like this, and it passed Linda Lane right there. For certain, because it eventually goes around the corner and then down right here. And this, so now we are certain that it drove by Linda Lane, but guess what? It's not, they did not mention it in the documents. Okay, they did not mention it. So that means that that's starting to be pretty good circumstantial evidence that there is missing footage. Isn't that amazing? Because every time that you may have been able to see the Elantra on the Linda Lane camera, we can't after 329, and it never goes by there again after 401. And if you remember, the time frame is 330 to 405 that camera is missing footage. Now, do they actually have it and they're not showing it? Why wouldn't they do that? They showed all the other multiple sightings of a vehicle on a camera over and over and over again. And they went through it. I've gone through the document. So why would, if it was sighted on the Linda Lane camera, why isn't it mentioned? Wouldn't they just say, yes, it passes? When you watch the footage on here, you see other times where, let's see, there's got to be other times where a vehicle probably drives the other direction. That's somebody coming up. I don't know. Let's see. Is that a car right there turning on? Yeah, so you'd see a car coming, if you were able to zoom in or whatever, a car would be driving by like this at 401-ish. Because it goes down on, man, I don't know. I just have this in my head where it's mind-boggling. That's why I made a video about it, because I absolutely think that, see, when the vehicle goes like that, it doesn't go into here, and they're watching the same suspect vehicle, and it goes around like this, passes here, and then it takes 3 minutes from there to get to here, and that's exactly what this car did. It came back around, and then finally made it into the complex for the final time. At like 4:04, it comes in, it's spotted, comes back here, does the 3-point turn here, comes back, does a U-turn there, goes back around, and then parks right along here, goes inside the house, kills the 4 victims, exits, leaves out this way, drives around, down like this, Conestoga, and Conestoga all the way down to Spruce River Drive. There we go. What year in college were these students? I think like sophomore and seniors, something like that. I mean junior and seniors, not sophomores. They're like 20 and 21, 20, weren't they like that? Like 20 and 21 years old. All right, we're currently at about 70% of the goal, you guys. So if you guys are out there and you like the content that I do, if you could help support the channel, that would be awesome. Just trying to keep moving forward. All right, so that was that information. And so the main gist of the video, the one that I really wanted everybody to think about was that, let me turn off that. When the vehicle drove by right here over at the A&W, that's what in the probable cause document they said that vehicle appeared to be missing its front license plate. Okay, so that's what they were using. So maybe after the probable cause, they were able to find different footage, and they used a footage from the vehicle driving in this direction at 401. That's obviously a different time frame. I thought that they were just making a mistake, that when they said that they saw a vehicle missing a front license plate here, that it was actually right there, and it was a mistake in the probable cause document, and it was just this camera at Ridge Road here. But it turns out, how would you be able to make a mistake when this one is 328, almost 329, and this one is 4:01 and 43 seconds when it filmed a 2014 to 2015 white Honda Elantra missing a front license plate. Other white Elantras missing a front license plate. So now we have 2 sightings of a white Elantra between missing a front license plate between 329 and 4:01. Okay, so now it means, see what's going to happen. I would do it in an order that proves that there's a white Elantra that fit Kohberger's exactly first. I would say that I would go like this. If I was in court, I would say that the white Elantra missing a front license plate, a 2014 to 2015 vehicle, was driving right here at 4:01. So I would do like the timeline, etc., and then start getting into the physical characteristics later, but start with the 4:01 sighting, and then go back to 328 and say that we also believe this vehicle here doesn't have a front license plate as it enters the area. And here's why. And then now the jury, after seeing this one, would use, probability. They would use reasonableness to say, okay, that's the same vehicle. It's a white Elantra within a half hour of the other one with missing a front license plate in that same area. But Gray, there's 50,000 Elantras in the area, you bastard. Yeah, well, is there 50,000 in Moscow, Idaho? Everybody has 2.5? Yeah. Didn't think so. I'm going to set a goal up here because, let's see, what do we need to get? I want to be able to donate the 5 memberships again tonight. So we're at 182. We have to get to 250. So that's going to be, let's see. I'll just make it, I guess that doesn't work on that screen. Can I do 15? That should be good. And, well, the 30 minutes doesn't have to be the, can I change that? Oh, guess not. Okay, well, I just said 30 minutes, but whatever it is. See if you guys can do it. I think he had an idea of the camera, but didn't expect his DNA to be left. Huh? I don't get it. What does that mean? I think he had an idea of the cameras, but didn't expect his DNA to be left. Oh, I see. I don't know. He may have. He may have thought about it. He just wasn't as smart as he thought he was. That's why ChatGPT was able to roast him. What scares me most is what he might have done leading up to the case. Yeah, but by the way, if you want your comments on the screen where we can discuss it, put it in a super chat and I'll put it on the screen. But anybody up to reaching the goal tonight? I just put up a goal at the top of the screen in the upper left so that we can get there. If his DNA wasn't left, would he be caught? I think they would have still discovered him. They would have went through everybody that had an Elantra. They probably would have been able to get a search warrant to see where his vehicle was. just, I guess based on the fact they probably would have been able to find his other times he was pulled over there. So that'd be enough to sort of look into it. And then they might even be able to find out that he turned his phone off at a certain time. It'd be a lot tougher case without the DNA for sure. But I think they could still make it. You know, then they'd find out eventually that he purchased a balaclava and he purchased a K-bar knife. That's pretty good circumstantial evidence. Thanks, Melanie Summer. All right, there's one of them. There's one of them. If he has DNA, wasn't left, would be caught. Or if he was, enough to convict. Huh? I'm waiting to hear how BK knew his victims. He must have only been in the law building since he was... I think he just found them online or something. It will be interesting if they... how they discovered it. I think he probably found them on, you know, Instagram or something like that, because he knew he was going there, so he sort of looked up like UW, or, you know, not UW, it would have been University of Idaho people. Ah, jeez, here we go, here we go. Well, nobody cares, GSUPM. You're really rude to people in chat. If they say something like about autism that you don't agree with, you berate them for the next 17 hours. It's just crazy. You know, really uncomfortable stuff. You trash my mods all the time. I appreciate your support, but I don't have time for it. I respect my mods, and I think they come here every night to deal with a lot of crap, and the last thing they need to deal with is somebody who supports the channel but feels entitled to trash them because they donate money. It's not really a cool, it's not really a good look at all, you know. Let's see, isn't there still more that we have not seen? I'm sure. But they're not going to, I mean, does it make sense that they, in that massive document, hey, Sincere, just get out of here, man. You know, people, why do you ask a follow-up question? All right. Yeah, cool, GSUPM, cool, yeah, cool. Why don't you take responsibility for how you treated so many different people in the chat? It really sucked. I mean, just every night I'd sit there and just go, God. Let's see. Oh yeah, let me see if I can find that document. Is it this one? Yeah, right here. Look at this. So in this entire document right here, why is it the when you start right here, see right there at 329:48, a vehicle matching the description. It's right here. Vehicle 1 is seen traveling westbound on Taylor Avenue, past Linda Lane. Right. Exactly. That's the 1320 Linda Lane camera. It's never mentioned again. Not one time. Okay? I mean, if I put Linda Lane in here, it'll only be when it's referring to behind the building. Yeah, and it might not even in there anymore. It should be in this one though. Let's see. 500 Queen Road, a vehicle match. It does say Linda Lane right there. I'm not sure why it didn't find that Linda Lane. Hey, thanks Sandy Shirley, Julie B, and Naomi Rollins. Yeah, don't worry about it. Sincere. I was just talking to. I mean, just I don't want to deal with it anymore. You know, I appreciated her support, and we donated $1,000 to one of her, you know, charity related to her because she was, you know, so generous and everything like that. But you know, yeah, it sucks. You know, my channel relies on you guys on a nightly basis, and it sucks when somebody that was so supportive probably won't be supporting me anymore, but it is what it is. I gotta say what I think. All right. I'm not going to, I can't allow just constantly. Anyways, hey, thanks, Naomi Rollins. BK never went back to Moscow. Did I hear that? I never said that. Yeah, he went back at 9 in the morning the next day. Yeah. He went back there. That's not what I said. Not sure what you were referring to. KR asked if if he would return to uni after. I don't know who's KR. That is a good question. Wasn't he failing his course? KR asks, who's that? I don't know who that is. If he would return to uni, you must be from Australia or the UK to say uni. Karen Reed? What does Karen Reed have to do with it? Yeah. Anyways, thanks, mods, and sorry, the mods, for you had to deal with that all the time, being trashed in the chat, little passive-aggressive comments here and there. Hey, thanks, Flora Poste. What's the frown? Oh, there you are. I wasn't sure what you were talking about. Yeah, I have a lot of haters too, just because of the way I am. Like that whole thing I just explained to you, I get hate for that. Like I'm supposed to just, Gray hates his viewers. No, I don't. I love all you guys. What I hate is people that come in and disrupt the show because they want the show to be about them and argue with everybody almost intentionally. We've had 4 or 5 people that do that often, and it's weird. I don't know what the deal is. And then it gets really uncomfortable when you got somebody that's sending in, they donate $50 or something, and then a minute later they're in a big argument with somebody, and then you're in a weird place. So there you go. I like Wendy Adelson the best. Yeah, good for you. Yep. I can't block people. I mean, I can block them from ever showing up at all. Yeah, you do that a lot, Timothy. We'll admit, I commented free Luigi one time to bug you. Yeah, right. See that? You tried, Black Owl Art Company. Free Luigi. Shit. Maybe you put quotes on it. Yeah, we need some more channel memberships, and if you could support the channel, that would be great. Thank you. We're now going to be even more difficult to reach goals. Hey, look at that. We got a Venmo. Oh, wait, I think that... Oh, I know. That's that was from the bet. I made a bet. See, the Blazers were predicted to win 21 games this year. And I told somebody, I think they're going to win 40 games. And they should have won 40 games for sure. But they said, oh, that's ridiculous. I'll bet you $50 they don't win 30. He said, I'll take 35 wins and you take 36. So I said, okay, I'll do that. But mine was 30. If they win 36 or more, and tonight on the last game of the year, they beat the Lakers at home. Both teams were tanking, but we had the better of the 2 tanking teams. And so at the last game of the season, I won. I got the 36th win, which is pretty good. I mean, amazing. If they had played that same way they played the last half of the season, the whole season, they probably would have made the playoffs outright. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. And thanks, Olivia, for the Buy Me a Coffee. We can do those. I don't know when the next hearing is. There might be maybe one in May or something. That was really fun, though, the other night when we did that hearing, don't you think? But look at this, how comprehensive this is right here. Watch. These are all different sightings on different cameras. Watch. Ding, 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 ding. Look at this. Ding, 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 ding. Why would they leave out only the Linda Lane camera every single time? Look. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So for me, it's as if they don't have any footage after the 3:29:48 shot of it coming into the area. And perhaps on those other 3 times on pass number 3 where I showed you how it may have U-turned or something, you know, maybe it wouldn't have shown up on there. However, it had to have shown up on the 4:01, right? So let's go to that time frame specifically. Watch this. All right, so we've got 3:58:23. A vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 travels west on Queen Road, turns north onto King Road. Headlights can be seen shining on trees to the west of the intersection of King Road and Taylor Avenue. So what it's talking about is right here, as it's leaving after the third loop, it turns and a camera shows lights on the trees over here as it comes around. Then at 3:58:23, a vehicle matching description of vehicle 1 travels west on... Oh, wait, that was one I just did. At 3:59:04, which is 41 seconds later, the vehicle is right here. So weirdly, the way they do this is the moment it shows up on camera. All right, so here's what they did. You remember that shot, and we proved this. Remember that shot that we have of the Elantra leaving at 4:20 and 48 seconds? That's when they start the description. Okay, so on this one right here where it says a vehicle matching a description of vehicle 1 travels west on Queen Road and then turns north onto King Road, you know, that means they start the clock right here. Okay, so right when the vehicle is right in this location at 3:58:23, it drove around and then it took 41 seconds to get to right here, which that makes sense. So it's right there, kind of driving slowly, comes around, and then 41 seconds later it makes it to right here. And this is when the DoorDash driver is likely coming into the area. And then at 4 o'clock and 14 seconds, which is only a minute 10 later, the vehicle is headed north right here again. Because it's like, oh, I got to go back and check. Doesn't that make sense? So it's coming by here at 3:59:04. Could see that there was a car there. Comes around over here, probably right there, does a U-turn, heads back this direction, and then at 4 o'clock and 14 seconds, it's right there. And then guess what? The next sighting of it is right here, coming down here, and like this. So how did it get past Linda Lane right here without being on camera? What, it drive through the grass over here and come around? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So it had to have passed this Linda Lane street here at I would say it would have passed there probably at like 4 o'clock and 50 seconds. And it didn't. We don't have that footage. So then it starts making you believe that, wow, they may be missing that exact time frame because they're not mentioning it in a whole slew of different entries right here. Okay, we're currently I think we still need like 8 more of these, like 8 memberships, something like that, you guys. If you guys can donate 8 memberships or 8 $5 super chats, then I'll donate 5 memberships myself, which is $25 worth of giveaway to people out there that don't have memberships. You know. Remember the Indiana stop? The sleeve on his right arm was up, and it looked, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess we thought, looked at that a while ago. That secret tunnel was big enough for a car to drive through. Sure. It's like a Batmobile. It was weird. It actually you know, like when he went into it, a part of a building just flopped down in front of it, so it just looked like it was regular cement or bricks. Yeah, we said it solely. I've said that's what my video was about today. I said how it stops there. Man, you guys. I'm just saying, you keep saying the same thing solely. It's not making sense what you're typing in. Okay, you're talking about this place right here. 713 Taylor Avenue that somebody typed in earlier. You can look right up this little alley right here. Right, okay. But I just explained another one solely. It seems like you just sort of missed it, you know? Like you almost intentionally didn't hear what I said just like literally a minute ago. It's kind of weird. Hey, thanks KR. And there's Cheryl Moran again. Very kind, very kind. Right. So the vehicle drives by right here, and as I said a million times, it could have parked anywhere around here on pass number 3, and then a U-turn and came back. The part, though, that makes you wonder is because at about 4 o'clock and 40 seconds, it should have passed Linda Lane right here. And that should have been in the records, but it wasn't. Because that's a constantly running camera. It's not a motion-activated camera. Isn't that interesting? Hey, thanks, Jax D. My name's Jack D. My name's Jax D. I got a license to kill. I hope you know what time it is. It's time to get ill. Now, what do we have here? An outlaw and his beer. I run this land. You understand? Do I make myself clear? It's okay, Sully. I'm just giving you a bad time. I understand what you're saying. I think that's a pretty cool idea, actually. If you're saying now that the car was parked in this parking lot, and he maybe just got out of his car, and he would look up this alley, or he parked right in one of these, you know. That would be pretty interesting. Let's say park right there. Turn. Okay, so like right through there, you could probably see. Let's try it. Let me, here. Just to support your theory there. I'm going to open up Google Maps. And then go right down there. What do they say? Why 713 specifically? So it'll be right here. Okay. Ah, that's the only... Wow, that sucks. October 2007 is the only street view that exists. Look how old that is. That's like right when Google Maps started doing this. That's Banfield. Look how old that is. Now Sigma Chi's been blurred out. I think it's like right back there is the 1122 King Road address. Probably didn't look the same in 2007. This one here, oh, there we go. Maybe we can almost kind of, that's not it right there, is it? I don't think so. Huh. I'm gonna use mine. Yeah, that's kind of what that looked like. I think that is it. Doesn't look right. That looks like that's weird. I don't think that is it. That's definitely not it right there, because there'd be a little secondary thing. It's just the way this camera is just crazy though. It's funny how it does kind of look like that though, but that's not it. Top of a different building. Hey, look at Sandy Shirley just gifted a membership. All right. Pandora's Folly, Amy Peterson, Kathy Castro. And guess what that means? I'm going to do 5. So let's see if we can get even more people to gift memberships to people. All right, so I'm going to gift 5, and you know, anybody else there wants to jump on the gifting 5 bandwagon, that'd be awesome. Got to load up with memberships. I think when we start covering the trial, this is the best place to be. Don't you guys agree? I mean, with that, we'll actually know what we're talking about when we're covering it. Now, if you want conspiracy theories, this isn't where you would want to be, I don't think. God, today, I don't know if I told you guys yesterday, my mom, you know, she doesn't remember stuff anymore. I mean, like, there's like a small window, 10 minutes max, maybe 5. Well, I hope you do, Cheryl. Jesus. Cheryl goes, yes, I'll watch it on your channel. I'm just kidding. She does, or I don't know, but yesterday and today she sort of snuck out of the hotel room, goes downstairs, and then, you know, she was like calling everybody to figure out how to get back up and into the room. And I was just like, Dad, what are you doing? Why are you? And he goes, I was sleeping. And I was like, oh God, you know. And so we were going to take her back to the facility, but not the facility, well, the place that they actually are living right now. And they didn't want to do it, so we're risking it one more night, because tomorrow they both go into there, and it'll be nice, it'll be all good at that point. Yeah, well, thanks. Yeah, that was cool, wasn't it? Let's see. Yeah, well, I hope you guys all come here, and when we're doing the trial and all the different hearings, because I think we're just going to be able to put it all together as it's going along, and I'll know as soon as you hear something that's meaningful. I mean, it's just going to be so cool, because I have the 3D model and everything. I'm going to go get some, I think I'm going to go out there and get different 360-degree footage of the entire area so that we have it. We'll just be missing, the house won't be here anymore, but it'll be the same exact, everything else is the same. And it's it's higher quality, if you can believe it, than this. This is pretty clear. Yeah, they'll be easy to visit. Yeah. Can you look towards Taylor? Yeah, I did it earlier. It's right there, see? I just showed this earlier in the show. So that would be where, if somebody was parked right here, for example, and pulled up right next to it, and you're in the driver's, you can just look to your left, and guess what? Or what? Hold on. It's just like that. I mean, literally, let's see, that line goes across, and you could see basically this whole part of the house for sure if you were parked right there. I think I could go back a foot or something. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. So that would be, if you were right there and you just turn around, boom. You're looking right there. I think that's probably what Sully was trying to say, but never really said it. Yeah. I think you know what, you guys? I actually think this is the truth that I'm going to tell you right now. Like, the OJ trial was big, right? But I'll tell you what, the biggest trial that ever would be, if it happened today, would be the Jodi Arias trial. That thing, I don't think there's ever been a case sort of social media oriented. I mean, it was so huge. They used to have on HLN like mock trials and like every single night do all these different things. And the reason that case was so awesome was that they actually released all the different images, all of the crime scene photos. A lot of stuff was leaked. Unbelievable. All the photographs from the camera when he was in the shower, etc. I mean, it just what do you mean which light was out? Does it matter? Pre-BK, I will be here for sure for the trial. Hey, cool. Awesome. You can see what lights are on from that park. Yeah, I just said that. All right. Yeah, somebody mentioned it in the chat, but to me it's just like, okay, that doesn't matter. What I really am trying to figure out is, I think what I'm really looking for is, I want to know if this camera is missing footage from 5:30 to 4:05. And when I say that it turns around here, I have to assume that because they don't mention this camera picking it up driving by. However, I think it's possible that that footage is actually missing. And the reason I'm saying that is because at the 4 o'clock pass, when it drives around, they don't even mention that one. And then it comes around right here at 4:01:30 up here, and then 4:01:43 right there. You get what I'm saying? So even on the one that you absolutely know passed Linda Lane for certain, they do not mention that. And that's a 24-hour running camera. So why didn't they mention that? And so then that opens the door for the other 3 passes that it actually did drive by there and then went somewhere else just in the vicinity here. Like it could have driven up here, came around. I mean, who knows, right? We just don't know, because if that footage is missing, we do not know exactly what it did in that portion there. Do you get it? Yeah. Well, it's missing on the YouTube video version. However, the credibility that it really is missing is the lack of it ever being mentioned during that time frame in these documents, and specifically on one where it should have passed it. Oh God, Sully, are you still going again? Come on. Yes, we know the U-turn. Yes, Sully. Yes, I've explained it 100,000 times. But what I'm saying is, can you listen to the greater context of what I'm talking about? You seem like you're stuck on that being where the car was just because there's an angle through the... we don't know, because I just explained to you that at 4 o'clock, the vehicle does drive by Linda Lane for certain. And it's not mentioned in this document. Here's what it should be. Watch this. This is what it should say. Headlights are seen traveling north on Malenta Drive behind 1119 King Road. At 4 o'clock and 50 seconds, the vehicle is spotted. This is what it should say. The vehicle is spotted matching the description of vehicle 1 is seen traveling eastbound on Taylor Avenue past Linda Lane. That's what it should say. It doesn't. It doesn't say that. And, you know, that's weird. Because it does drive by there. And it is on a 24-hour camera that does not, it's not motion activated. Sully, can you just quit with your I mean, really, it's you keep saying the same thing and it's not, you're not getting any more clear. Okay, it's not, it's just, I've already gone through all that. My theory sounds very similar. You're just kind of saying the same thing that I've put out there, but you want it to be where you want it to be parked is what you're doing. You know? Let's see. That was funny. The autopsies will answer a lot of questions. Well, not anything about what we're talking about, but yeah, like who was attacked first, etc. Well, he 100% saw the DoorDash driver, as I made an entire video about it. Yeah. He said he wanted to be part of a big case. Who? The autopsies will answer a lot of questions, especially about... Okay, yeah, we already read that one. In other words, we'll never know the truth. Alright. Let's see if we can, for the rest of the show, if you guys can help support the channel, if we can make up for a little bit of yesterday, that'd be great to keep us on track. Because yesterday was, I tried covering cold cases and just absolutely crashed. It just, nobody wants it. I mean, I'm not, when I say nobody, you know what I'm saying. I'm not, some people do like them, but just in general, people want to go somewhere else. I thought they were pretty interesting too. Well, it's not agreeing with it. It means you got it from my channel is what I'm saying. Let's see. Great shot of the alley. Oh my god, again, Sully. Jesus. Can you move on to a different topic, please? We won't, they will guess what happened in opening statements, but only the killer victims really know. No, we you know, they're going to know what happened in there. I think the one thing that I want to know the truth about is, did he leave the knife sheath there intentionally? I tell you what, you guys, if you guys get us another 5 memberships, we'll do a ChatGPT session, and what we'll do is we'll bring up yesterday's thing, and we will ask ChatGPT. You guys know the theories that people have out there. We'll throw it in there and see what it says. Right. Let's see what it says. You know, the theories that people have about, oh, a guy named Brent Kopacka, or, you know, the random theories that people have. We could try that. I think it'll be funny. Rick Allen. He could have planned everything to watch his own case play out. Sure. Probably means they haven't... No, that's not what it means, Sully. That's not what it means at all. You keep talking. Can you quit? You know, you're just the same thing over and over. It doesn't mean that. It's law enforcement has... They didn't release the Ridge Road footage. They didn't release the Paradise Drive footage. None of that's been released. Tons of the information, and they didn't release any of the 1112 King Road footage. Okay, so your comment there doesn't make any sense, unfortunately. Yet again. Let's see, become a channel member and help make a difference. That's right. Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. And look at Dennis Gordon and Miranda Renee. No, he'll never testify, especially after Ann Taylor went on and on about his rights to remain silent. Hey, there's Naomi Rollins. Hey, we're only 2 away from doing the ChatGPT session. It's a question I had. Is there any unreleased footage? Well, there's tons. Yeah, I mean, I just told you. 1112 King Road. We haven't seen any footage during the time frame that's important. We haven't seen any of the footage. Here, I'll show you. I'll go around and I'll show you everything. We have not seen any of the footage from 111. I have one piece of footage from earlier in the night, but none of the, between 3:30 and 4:20. We've seen a 2 still frames. And then we've seen none of it showing the lights back here. We've seen none of it showing the lights on this building as the car comes around over here. We do have the Linda Lane footage because it was released, and this apparently was released. So both of these are the same apartment manager. I think he's the same jackass that tried to grab my phone. And so right over here, that was released, but this one's missing 35 minutes. We do not have any of the surveillance footage from the Ridge Road cameras on this building, and we do not have any footage, which I'd love to see, on this camera from the Paradise Drive camera. 1, 2, 3. Hey, there we go. We did it. All right. That's a lot of footage that we don't have. So to say that they didn't, the only thing they put in that document is release footage is just not true. Okay. So it makes it seem like the fact that they do not mention it driving by here at 4 o'clock and like 50 seconds or so, that it just doesn't exist. And it's interesting. I have somebody that's going to try to ask that question to somebody. I think that is a weakness, in terms of trying to keep things moving along in terms of, okay, there it goes there, and tracking it. It's also a weakness that they have it going south twice in a row here. What does that mean? Is that an error or is that another vehicle? And the fact that it's another vehicle doesn't mean anything because there are other people that drive around. There just wasn't a lot of cars. So it could have been another vehicle, and then they're just not sure which one it is because all they could see was the lights, so they put them both there. But then you ask yourself, where did that other vehicle come from? It must have been parked right in here. I guess it could be anywhere. It could have came in like this. Because if this Linda Lane camera is not working, they wouldn't know that. So if this was working, they'd probably be able to deduce which one it is or isn't. Because you can actually make the vehicle out slightly on that camera if you zoom in a little bit. You can tell if it's white or if it's a sedan or truck. Thank you, Lenny Carter. Very kind, very kind. All right, so here we go. And by the way, that's what the goal thing is up there, is to make little... All right, let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, that was our Grey Hughes detective vibe. This is what it said about me, you guys. I don't know if you missed the show the other night. Did anybody miss the show last night when ChatGPT said, it asked me a question up here. It said, I just came on to ChatGPT and it said, hey, you want us to, it said, describe me based on all our chats. Make it catchy. That's what they said. Hey, do you want us to tell us about what we think you are? Or when I say we, I don't know. ChatGPT had that waiting for me when I came in. And then I played it and it said, let's see. I thought it was sort of accurate. I mean, wait, no, and then it asked me more questions. Let's see. So this is it. This is how they describe me based on all the stuff I've been asking about since I've been using it. There we go.
All right, here goes. Grey Hughes, the Sherlock of screens, the bard of the breakdown. the true crime titan of YouTube. You dissect murders like a surgeon with a scalpel, roast suspects like a bro with a mic, and code your way through data like a hacker with a grudge. Your vibe is part investigator, part entertainer, part digital detective in a dimly lit command center, probably surrounded by RGB lights, case files, and coffee. You're the kind of person who can turn metadata into a murder theory, turns legal jargon into YouTube gold, will zoom in on a single bridge pixel and say, enhance, drops Python scripts and sarcasm with the same ease. Knows if a DNA sample landed on the wrong stair rail, someone's story is falling apart. Basically, if there's a mystery, you're not just watching. You're in it, solving, building, explaining, roasting. So tell me, do you have a favorite case or suspect that...
I think that is pretty accurate, right? The part that isn't, maybe I don't turn legal jargon into YouTube gold. You know, I'm not an attorney. Like, I don't know all the terms and all that crap. But I think other than that, it was pretty good. All right, let me go find this. DoorDash delivery confirmation. I want to find that one that we used to do a long time ago. Frames and defendant notice a summary. It's probably not that one. Not as much you might think. There are major limits. Let's see. Yeah, I think it was in March when I did that. I just want to find the one where it was, we were like for days on the same one. The one talking about, oh yeah, let's see. If I talk about eyebrows or something. Which one is it? That one. Oh yeah, this is the one. Alright, this is that really long one. Yeah, it had the Siré stuff. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so now... All right, if you're sitting there, Alan McMahon. Hey, look at that, Timothy Cecil. Wow, what's a theory out there? Just one random one. I'm gonna type it in here. Can you give me a summary of what we discussed in this chat? I want to see if I can do it. No, yeah. You guys ready for some of this?
Absolutely. Here's a detailed summary of what we covered in this chat. Main topic, Bryan Kohberger case and related roast content. Kohberger roast prosecution style bro mode and sarcasm. You requested a detailed sarcastic bro mode style prosecution roast of Bryan Kohberger, emphasizing the touch DNA found on the K-bar knife sheath left on a victim's bed. His March 2022 Amazon purchases of a K-bar combat knife and a balaclava. The eyewitness description of the killer's bushy eyebrows. Surveillance footage of a white Hyundai Elantra with no front plates circling the crime scene. The post-crime license plate switched to Washington front-back plates. His phone going dark during the crime window. And the fact that he had no known connection to the house or victims. He got multiple roast versions, a formal prosecution-style roast, a bro mode, sarcastic version with full courtroom roast energy. A final, top-tier roast, packed with every factual point and dripping in ridicule and sarcasm. DNA context expansion. We discussed how the logic of the case changes if other male DNA was found at the scene, e.g. on the stair railing in common areas. You clarified Kohberger had no known connection to the house, which made his DNA on the sheath more incriminating, while the other DNA could be explained by party traffic. Defense counterarguments discussion. You asked how the defense might attempt to counter all the evidence. We covered strategies like attacking the reliability of touch DNA, claiming contamination or suggesting the sheath was planted, arguing the eyebrows weren't unique enough, downplaying the Elantra surveillance, lots of white Elantras.
Yeah, we know how it's spelled, black owl art, but if I don't type it in the way I want it to be, it'll pronounce it when it's read, Kabar. Okay, so I know what I'm doing. Thank you, though. Jesus. If you don't type in, put the word K-bar in there, spell it K-A-Y, it won't read it. And all I really care about is how it's read, not what it says on the screen. Anyways, all right, so anybody, what are some of the conspiracy theories they have out there? No, I just said pronounce K-bar. I said pronounce K-A-bar like K-A-Y-B-A-R. And so this thing that's reading it is a different program. It has nothing to do with ChatGPT. Yeah, we know the Brentco pack. I want one of their other theories that they have. Let's see. Some clown YouTuber said that there was a tunnel under the house, and that's how Kohberger got in and out of it.
The claim that Brian Kohberger used a tunnel to enter and exit the house at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho, is a baseless internet rumor with no supporting evidence. This theory appears to have originated from speculative discussions on social media platforms, particularly TikTok, where users have shared unverified content suggesting the existence of such a tunnel. However, there is no credible information or official documentation to support this claim. The house in question was a standard 3-level off-campus rental property constructed into a hillside. It featured multiple entry points, including a sliding glass door on the second floor and a main entrance on the first floor. Law enforcement agencies, including the FBI and local police, conducted thorough investigations of the property and have not reported any findings of a tunnel or secret passage. In fact, the probable cause affidavit and other official documents detail Kohberger's alleged movements and methods of entry and exit, none of which involve a tunnel. The focus of the investigation has been on tangible evidence, such as DNA, cell phone records, and surveillance footage, rather than unsubstantiated theories. It's important to approach such claims with skepticism and rely on verified information from credible sources.
Thank you.
Spreading unfounded theories can distract from the facts and hinder the pursuit of justice. Sources.
Oh yeah. Okay, there we go. Here's the bro mode response for what we just heard. Yo.
Oh, absolutely, bro. Buckle up, because we're about to roast this tunnel theory back to the depths of YouTube conspiracy land. Bro mode response? Ton of tunnel theory? My guy, stop it. Yo, so apparently there's a YouTuber out here claiming that Brian Kohberger didn't just sneak into the house at 1122 King Road. Nah, bro thinks he went full mission. Impossible. Crawling through a secret underground tunnel like this is Scooby-Doo meets true crime. Let's break it down. The house? We're talking about a standard 3-level off-campus house built into a hill. Like a normal college rental, not the Batcave. It had a sliding glass door on the second floor, a main entry on the first, a layout that's already confusing, without needing a secret tunnel entrance like it's Hogwarts. Law enforcement, FBI, Moscow PD, Idaho State Police, they scoured that house with every scanner, drone, and 3D tech they had. You think they missed a literal tunnel system? Not one report, not one affidavit, not one detective saying, "Joe Sarge, we found a dungeon under the frat fridge." Actual evidence? We've got. Touch DNA on the knife sheath, cell phone tower data, surveillance footage of the Elantra, and yeah, the eyebrow witness. What we don't have. Tunnel entry point discovered under the beanbag chair. And the theory itself? Bro, be serious. Kohberger's not digging tunnels like he's El Chapo. He's a criminology student, not a groundhog with a grudge.
Nobody knew about
This isn't a Zelda dungeon. This is real life. The only tunnel in this story is the rabbit hole some of these YouTubers fall into when they trade facts for likes.
Can I get a boom?
Final thought, bro. If you hear someone say, Omente used a tunnel to sneak in and out unnoticed, just respond with, "She cool story, bro. Got any blueprints? Or is that located right next to the Bigfoot nest in the JFK time machine? Or, come on, bro, let's keep it above ground and based in evidence. Tunnel theory equal to permanently sealed.
Can I get a boom?
Need this turned into a TikTok voiceover or meme breakdown?
Oh, God.
You know I got you, Chief.
That's right. But continue to watch the clown. I'm sure, let's see. Okay. How about the theory that the killings were part of an organized hit by the cartel? This one they might give it a little bit more credit just because it's something that's remotely possible.
Oh boy, here we go again. It's conspiracy theory season, and today's flavor is Untartel did it, Artel. Buckle up, bro. Let's demolish this one in full bro mode with heavy sarcasm and a facts-only afterburner. Bro mode response and TT cartel theory? My dude, chill. So now we got folks out here saying the Moscow murders were an organized cartel hit? Let me get this straight. 4 college kids in a small town in Idaho, population potatoes, were targeted by international drug lords? What is this? Narcos Panhandle Edition? Let's break this madness down. Bro, the cartel uses knives. Yeah, sure, sometimes they do. But what they don't usually do is send an elite sicario to a town with like 12 cops total to stab 4 people in the middle of the night, leave a knife sheath with someone else's DNA on it, and then bounce in a 2015 Hyundai Elantra with no front plate like it's the low-budget version of a Jason Bourne film. Bro, the cartel doesn't leave Amazon receipts and eyebrow witnesses behind. Kohberger did that. Actual evidence versus Netflix fantasy. Let's check the scoreboard. Actual evidence cartel hit energy. Kohberger's touch DNA on the knife sheath. Nope. Cartel ain't leaving souvenirs. Surveillance footage of his car circling the house cartel doesn't do U-turns. Phone turns off during the murders. Turns on after cartel hits are clean, fast, and silent. Not TTRB, just powering down. He bought the exact knife months before you think cartel hitmen shop on Amazon? Alexa, order 1 tactical slip-up. He has no criminal record, no cartel connections, no drug ties, 0. Zilch. Nada. Also, it's Idaho, not Juarez. No disrespect to Idaho, but if you're a major cartel, are you really risking heat over a few college students in a town where the Taco Bell closes at 10 p.m.? What was the motive supposed to be? Did someone miss a Venmo payment on a quesadilla? Law enforcement? Not even entertaining it. The FBI, Idaho State Police, local detectives, hundreds of hours of investigation, dozens of warrants, cell tower data, forensic teams, behavioral analysts. Not one of them has ever even mentioned cartel involvement. Why? Because there's zero connection, no drug trafficking, no gang ties, no cartel informants. Just a criminology student who left his own DNA at the scene like a discount Zodiac. Final thought, bro. Let's keep it 100%. If the cartel did this, there'd be no knife sheath, no Elantra joyride, no surviving witnesses, and sure as hell no Kohberger's DNA on a snap button like he was checking in for extra credit. So unless the cartel has a new program where they outsource hits to awkward grad students with big eyebrows and zero street cred, this theory belongs in the same box as Bigfoot, Flat Earth, and that guy who thinks birds are government drones. Case closed, bro. Cartel ain't got time for knife sheath drama. You want this turned into a skit, animated breakdown, or podcast segment? I'll drop it hotter than the cartel theory's credibility.
See how stupid that is? I'm just saying this thing uses common sense too. It just shows you that a lot of people that watch YouTube don't have common sense because they think it's great. But all right, let's keep going. And also, again, if you're out there and you want to help support the channel, I'm greatly appreciative. Yeah, it allows us to keep going, and I'm sure sometime during this month we'll also be sending some more money out, getting ready for our last night of the month, where hopefully, if we keep on trucking, we'll be able to give out similar amounts as we did last month. But last month was it ended up being pretty good after a rough start. This one started okay, but then starting to trail off yesterday a little bit. All right, so what do you guys think of that? Who's got another one? What's another one? What's another one of the theories out there? Anything else? I guess what I could say is, let's see. Well, they would type in stuff like, well, two of the, I'll say they will they will say that 2 of the parents of the victims were busted selling drugs at some point recently. Let's see what it says now, because that's what they will say. Did I say that right? The 2 of the parents of the victim.
Here it comes. The parents were into drugs, so the cartel must have done it. Leap of logic. Brought to you by the same folks who think the moon landing was filmed on a soundstage next to Jeffrey Epstein's secret bunker.
Hey, I'm trying to help these guys
Let's
out,
crack this
man.
open with some full tilt bro mode sarcasm and then hit it with the actual logic check. The parents sold drugs, so the cartel did it. Let's roast this theory. First of all, even if 1 or 2 parents had a past brush with drugs, do we think El Cartel Supremo is rolling up in the middle of Moscow, Idaho to carry out a quadruple stabbing against their kids? In a rented off-campus house? At 4 a.m.? That's not how cartels operate, bro. This isn't a revenge flick. This isn't John Wick Farmtown. Cartels don't do stealth stabbings in residential neighborhoods, with no message, no calling card, and no connection to drugs, money, or territory. They don't send a lone hitman with a balaclava and a K-bar and say, "Leave the sheath, bro. We want them to find it." Second, there's zero official link to drug activity. Law enforcement combed through phone records, digital forensics, financials, social ties. They found no cartel affiliation, no drug disputes, no trafficking pipeline, nothing to even sniff cartel motives. And if the motive was to send a message to the parents, where's the message? No graffiti on the walls, no stage scene, no signature. Just 4 brutally stabbed students.
That's the message.
And Koberger's DNA on the knife sheath. That ain't cartel, bro. That's kinda I watch too many Reddit theories at 3 a.m. energy.
Exactly.
Third, all the evidence still screams Koberger. Let's review what we do have. Evidence, piece cartel style. Koberger style. Knife sheath with his DNA Amazon purchase of the exact knife balaclava tactical gear months in advance. White Elantra circling the scene 12x phone conveniently turns off eyebrow witness grad student in criminology drug motive? Cartel note? Threats. So even if a parent sold a dime bag in the past, what does that have to do with Brian playing Unsolved Mysteries Idaho edition with a knife he bought 8 months earlier? Final bro thought. Saying a cartel hit because of parents' past drug charges is like saying, when a dog barked at 4 p.m. so clearly aliens stole my lawnmower. Even conspiracy theories need some internal logic. If the cartel wanted revenge, they wouldn't. Leave a sloppy trail of evidence. Let a witness survive. And conveniently tie everything to a socially awkward grad student who left his own DNA at the crime scene. That's not a cartel hit, bro. That's a dude who wanted to commit the perfect murder and failed at step 1. You want this turned into a courtroom-style slam? A debate rebuttal for YouTube?
Yeah, there you go. See? I mean, I even tried to help it out right there. Ah, jeez. What other theories they got? Not the only person saying what, Chris? All people in the chat say frat boys. There's no frat boys involved in anything. Okay, how about this? Let's try that one. Some YouTubers claim that Ethan Chapin's frat brothers did the killing. Oh boy. I sound exactly like, look at, man, I tell you what, I think I'm a robot in real life, you guys.
Oh boy. Here we go again with another round of blame literally anyone but the guy with DNA on the murder weapon. Now it's the Ethan's frat brothers did it. Theory? Alright bro, let's dismantle this one with a 3-piece combo of sarcasm, facts, and common sense. Because at this point, we're just spinning the clue wheel and hoping it lands on someone not named Brian. And 2 was the Frat Bros. Another internet mystery movie in the making. So the theory goes, nah bro, it wasn't Koberger, even though his DNA was on the knife sheath. It was Ethan Chapin's frat bros, probably jealous, or angry, or high on monster energy and repressed emotion. Like, okay, I guess anything's possible if we ignore literally all the evidence and just throw darts at the conspiracy board. Let's break it down like a forensic roast. Fact check first. Kohberger's DNA was on the knife sheath. Full stop. Not Ethan's frat bros. Not some random dude from Greek Row. Not a guy in a toga screaming in Rush Week. Brian Kohberger's DNA. On the snap of the knife sheath. Left on the victim's bed. Unless one of Ethan's bros borrowed Kohberger's knife sheath, took it to the house, killed 4 people, and planted it with surgical precision, and then made sure Brian's Elantra was seen circling the house, this theory collapses like a bad Jell-O shot. Fact check second. Kohberger's white Elantra was caught on camera. A lot. Frat bros are many things. Loud, chaotic, occasionally shirtless. But I don't think any of them were. Driving a white Hyundai Elantra with no front plate, doing 12 loops around the house between 3:30 and 4:20 a.m., then speeding away right after the murders. That's Kohberger's car, bro. Verified, tracked, seen. Not Sigma Psi slashers, driving the murder mobile. Fact check third, Kohberger's phone coincidentally went dark. At 3 a.m., phone is pinging 10 miles out. Then from 4 to 4:25 a.m., the murder window, phone goes dead, silent, no pings. Then magically comes back online like, sup. If this was a frat job, then they must have known when Kohberger's phone would be off, planted the sheath, borrowed his car, and known to leave 0 DNA of their own. Bruh. Even Ocean's 11 is like, yo, chill, that's a bit much. And then there's the eyebrows. A surviving roommate saw a man in black with a balaclava, and eyebrows bold enough to write their own witness statement. Kohberger has those legendary caterpillar brows. Are we supposed to believe one of Ethan's frat bros just happened to have the same exact brow game? What was the plan? Alright boys, we take Brian's knife, his car, spoof his phone, and don't forget to glue on eyebrow wigs. Where are the frat bros in the investigation? Law enforcement. Interviewed everyone in Ethan's life.
Wow, yeah.
Cleared all close friends and family. Found no evidence of motive, jealousy, involvement. Meanwhile, everything was pointing to Kohberger, from forensic evidence to cell data to behavior. This theory isn't just a reach, it's a pole vault over Mount Logic. Final bro verdict, let's stop throwing darts at the wrong board. These theories, the tunnel one, the cartel one, now the frat bros, all have one thing in common. They ignore the mountain of evidence tied to Kohberger and try to redirect attention to literally anyone else. Which is kind of like blaming the waiter for the robbery because he was near the register. If there was a fraternity of interest, you can bet the FBI would have been camped out on Greek Row with polygraphs and search warrants. But there wasn't, because there's nothing pointing to them. What is there? DNA, Elantra, cell data, Amazon knife purchase, eyebrow witness, 0 alibi. Kohberger didn't get framed by frat bros. He got caught by his own receipts, his own car, and his own eyebrows. You want this turned into a courtroom monologue?
Isn't that amazing? I mean, that's kind of the same stuff that we just say all the time. This is what I keep trying to tell everybody. You know, the guy, the UK guy, and the clown, and all these other people, they're just out there trying to sell you all a bill of goods. And I'm not just saying that. And I'm saying that, I'm saying it because I think it's irresponsible. I think it's just people just doing whatever works, you know. And that's why it's hard. Like sometimes my titles of my video don't say shocking, you know, or some shit like that. Like everybody types the word shocking on there because everyone, what's shocking? Shocking! Kohberger's white Elantra did 4 loops. Yeah, we know that. What's shocking about it? Well, I mean, I wanted you to watch my video, so I put... Alright, so it says, I've used shocking 3 or 4 times just to see, and it really was like shock or like crazy shit. And I don't know if it works any better than others, but anyways, M. Morgan, thanks up there. Always good to hear you going bro mode. And then Eel Lee from Australia. G'day, mate. G'day, mate. How's it? Let's see. Have a good Arvo. Have a good Arvo. All right, what's another one? What's another one? Yeah, it's so you know what's amazing, you guys, is they just give me the text, so it'd be me reading it. You know, like I'd be up here saying, frat bros are many things, loud, chaotic, occasionally shirtless, but I don't think any of them were driving a white Honda Elantra with no, you know. So anyways, I happen to have this, Speechify that I purchased over here. And it's on there, and it reads the comments. So I think that combined with ChatGPT is pretty cool, because it's kind of like, after a while, it becomes like GPT's voice. It's like that's them. All right, what's another theory that you hear out there? Hey, thanks, Jeffrey. Yeah, I try hard to put out accurate videos and discuss things that I think are interesting. I mean, isn't it more interesting when you're literally talking about the case in a way where you're trying to see how the information fits into a larger story, instead of trying to pretend that there's some guy named Brett, that Kohberger's even innocent, and we're going to talk about this whole other thing that has nothing to do with anything. And when the trial happens, these idiots are going to be so lost. When the trial starts, you're not going to hear about any of the stuff that you're hearing about, and you're going to be confused because you believed it, like it's going to come out in the hearings. Yes, and you'll see, by the way, jury, that Brent Kopacka did it. Yeah, no, it's not saying that in the opening statements. Did you already talk about the two people had to do it? Let's see. Yeah, I haven't done that one. Some people claim that two people had to have committed this crime, and there just wasn't enough time. Let's see. It wasn't enough time. Kohberger was likely, let's see. Some people claim that two people, and then I am letting you know that Kohberger was in the house for, I would say, around 8 minutes or less. All right, there you go. Let's see what it does with that sort of a bunch of information. I did one on Cyray.
Okay. Now we're in Montana. Had to be two killers because time, territory? Classic move. Let's roll up our sleeves and tackle this one like a forensic linebacker. And thank you, bro, for pointing out that Brian Kohberger was in the house for approximately 8 minutes, based on camera footage, vehicle tracking, and witness timelines. Now, let's absolutely body slam the two-killer theory in full bro mode with sarcastic logic grenades. If it wasn't enough time, the myth of the mystery accomplice. The claim, bro, there's no way one person could kill 4 people in that amount of time.
Yeah.
Had to be 2 people, probably trained assassins, or aliens. Maybe both. The truth, Brian Kohberger was in the house.
I think I've actually used that sentence before.
House for roughly 8 minutes. And guess what? That's more than enough time. Especially for someone who came prepared, had a military-style knife, and targeted people while they were asleep or just waking up. Let's do the math, bro.
Drinking.
8 minutes equal to 480 seconds. Let's break that down. Stabbing someone takes less than 10 seconds, especially in close quarters. The victims were attacked in their sleep or just waking up. Minimal resistance, confusion, panic. The layout of the house was tight. No long hallways, no multi-floor mazes. The killer wasn't chatting or looking for souvenirs. He was in, out, focused.
That's amazing.
He didn't pause for snacks, bro. He was laser focused, and that house was already familiar to him based on surveillance and prior drives. Here's how 8 minutes breaks down. Let's say 60 seconds to enter the house and get oriented, 90 seconds to attack the first room, 60 seconds to move to the next floor, 90 seconds for the second attack, 30 seconds to GTF.
This is crazy, you guys. I did this. I made this video, for God's sakes. I made it.
Faux mode. Extra 2 minutes for delays, checks, or quick escape stalls.
Oh, there it is. See, 2 minutes. He even put in the, getting ready at the car and everything.
That's still under 8 minutes, and that's with cushion time. You don't need 2 killers. You just need one guy with a plan and a weapon. But why do people think it needed 2? Here's the deal. The shock of the crime leads people to overestimate how long it must have taken. They assume it's more horror, equal to more time, equal to more people. But violent crimes, especially personal up-close stabbings, happen fast. tragically fast. Police and forensic experts agree the timeline fits. And let's not forget, no evidence of a second person, no second set of footprints, DNA, or surveillance. High T's. One car, one phone, one sheath with one guy's DNA. And don't forget, one dumb mistake blew it all open. If this was two pros working together, would they leave behind a knife sheath, get seen on camera, drive in loops like they're doing recon for DoorDash, turn their phone off for the exact murder window, and then leave DNA on the snap of the sheath? Nah, bro. That's not teamwork. That's a solo screw-up special. Two killers, equal to Netflix brain. This theory is born from TV shows with 42-minute crime scenes, Reddit threads run by guys who think they cracked Zodiac, and people who can't accept that one person could be this reckless, violent, and dumb enough to leave a breadcrumb trail longer than a Texas highway. Final bro verdict. When it wasn't enough time for one person, bro, there was plenty of time. Kohberger didn't need help. He needed a smarter plan and a wipe for that knife sheath. No tunnel, no cartel, no frat bros, and definitely no tag team ninja squad. Just one guy, 8 minutes, a combat knife, and a master's degree in ain't how to get caught 101. Need this turned into a TikTok, court roast, or dramatic opening scenes?
See that, you guys? I mean, you know, that was an absolute trash fest right there. That's exactly right. And that's what we say all the time. It's like people just say, oh, there's no... They did the same thing in the Delphi case. He had a gun, he controlled two girls, and they said, there's no way one person could do that. They come up with this lame story. I would love to do this with that portion. You know what would be amazing? Take the... Oh, God, I'm going to do this. Take the Odin document, have it analyze it, and then argue point by point, and then let it roast the living crap out of that. You know, when you tell them at the end. So they're actually saying that the killer redressed each victim over and over and undressed each one by himself. But he had a gun that could allow them to do that. And they go, you're right, bro. Yeah, and then, you know, and then it would just, by the time it's over, oh, man, that'd be awesome. I got to do that. Do you think he was already in the house, maybe? Put tape? No. Well, I mean, prior. I think it's possible. We talked about it the other day. It was kind of interesting. Maybe he disabled the lock himself. Because if you remember, the police were using chairs to keep it shut. So that means there was something wrong with that door. They didn't want people sneaking in the middle of the night. So maybe that door was just broken, and maybe he did it one night, and that's why he was very certain. Or he just came back and tested the door on multiple nights and said, oh, crap, this is always unlocked. Maybe even realized it was broken, and then knew that he could come in through that door on that night. I think that is probably what he did. I think he's probably been there before. Likely he would have worn gloves on any other time that he would have grabbed the door, because he knows that his DNA would still be sitting there. Okay, what else? What is the other... what's another thing that these clowns say out there? I don't know if he's ever, how far he's been in the house or anything, or ever. I don't know for certain he's been in there. You can tell the layout of the house just by watching from outside. Yeah, he did enter the house from the sliding glass door, because we all knew that from the beginning. That's not something that you would have had to need a Papa Rogers to tell you. I think he parked outside, and he could just look through the window and could see that there's stairs. You could see where the rooms are. And he knew that that was a kitchen slider. So you go down, and he probably realized that the stairs are right there, and boom, he goes up the stairs. He knew exactly how to get there, just by watching from outside. There's also online images of the inside of the house prior. What about autism, Leslie? Had nothing to do with anything. Okay, any other theories that are out there? What do people say? With connections? Yeah, we already did that one, Olivia. Like 10 minutes ago. It trashed it into oblivion. Is there any reason we believe Maddie was a... I just think she sort of fits the profile. That's why I think she... And I think where he parked his car, he could always look into her window. So I think Maddie was the target. And it sounds like that's probably what it was. You know? Based on some information we were reading the other day about... wasn't he looking at her pictures or something? Liking her pictures? That's just my opinion. And she's kind of like, you know, a Barbie doll, sorority girl, you know, like the most popular person type, you know. I know, no cover-up, telling him other theories. What are you talking about? Oh, let's see. Surviving roommates called their parents 7:30 a.m. and told them what happened. Parents said, "We'll take care of it." I'm going to put in your exact quote. Let's see what it says. All right, how about this, you guys? If you want your exact, after this one right here, we'll do that. If you do super chats, I'll put in your exact question to ChatGPT. How about that? All right, so I'm going to do some YouTuber said... All right, let's see. Oh, my bro.
Oh, my bro. So now the new theory from YouTube's Basement Brigade is, Bunta's surviving roommate called her parents at 7:30 a.m., told them what happened, and the parents were like, "No worries, sweetie. We'll handle the quadruple homicide cover-up for you. Let us just ring up the cops and the college and get Operation Sweep It Under the Rug started." Are you serious right now? All right, let's roast this one with the full bro mode sarcasm deluxe, and then break it down with facts that are publicly documented and not pulled from the back of a Funyun bag. Call the parents, start the cover-up. The YouTube cinematic universe expands. So we're now expected to believe that a young woman witnesses a quadruple homicide in the middle of the night, doesn't call 911 immediately. Instead calls mom and dad at 7:30 a.m. like she's late for a dentist appointment. And they're like, "Don't worry, honey. We've got friends in high places at the University of Idaho and the local PD. Go back to bed, we'll mop up this murder situation by lunch." Bro, what is this, a deleted scene from House of Cards Dorm Edition? The actual 911 call was at 11:58 a.m. Facts. This much is confirmed. 911 was called at 11:58 a.m. on November 13th, 2022. The call was made from one of the surviving roommates' phones. It was in response to discovering someone unconscious, which we now know was one of the victims. The call resulted in first responders finding 4 victims and an immediate crime scene lockdown. Nowhere, and I mean nowhere, in police logs, affidavits, or court documents is there a record of a 7:30 a.m. phone call, evidence of a wanting parental cover-up plan, or any suggestion that the universe...
I don't know, is there? I think there might be a phone... one of the daughters was calling... or one of the survivors was calling their parents at that time. It might not know it because it's in some of the more recent documents. Is that that is true, right? I think I have to. I don't know where to find that really quickly though. What was that in? The I think it was in the 911. Let me see if I can find that. I just want to be able to add something if. Let's see. Because, you know, they'll say, "You didn't correct it, Gray," when they said... Is that it? Oh yeah, that's the 911 call. That's not what I was looking for. I think it was like the text messages, right? That's what the... Objection to state. Is this one right here? Okay, here it is. So Bethany Funk calls dad. So now we got to correct this. Bethany Funk did call her father at 7:30 a.m. That is in the records. Now let's see how it deals with something. Oh man, I was being so sarcastic and everything. Can it fix that?
You're correct. According to court documents, Bethany Funke did call her father at 7:30 a.m. on the morning of November 13, 2022. This detail is part of a timeline of phone and social media activity from both surviving roommates, as outlined in recent defense filings. The records indicate that Funke made several calls to family members that morning, including her father at 7:30 a.m. and again at 8 a.m., followed by calls to other contacts shortly thereafter. KSL News. However, it's important to note that there is no credible evidence supporting the claim that these calls were part of a coordinated effort to cover up the crime.
Right.
The official 911 call reporting the incident was made at 11:56 a.m., and both surviving roommates have been cooperative with law enforcement throughout the investigation. Speculative assertions about a cover-up lack substantiation and are not supported by the available evidence sources.
I'm going to say, hey, yeah, because that's not really a bro mode type of answer. Now it was getting back into the... See, but it's still garbage, right? People just say something. They tell you that because she called her dad at 7:30 a.m., the parents therefore are covering up the entire crime. I mean, isn't that an insane leap to make? Who the hell are you talking about, Gypsy Soul? You sound like an idiot. God, what are you talking about? Snarky attitude sucks. You need to be more civil and mature like this other dipshit YouTuber. Yeah. Okay. Hey, thanks, Lizzie Rob and Justin. The second part of the dumb theory is that why nobody heard sirens at the scene because it was a cover-up. Police already knew the call. There we go. I'll put that one in. Let me put that in there. Okay, back to bro mode. As part of... Okay. Another bunch of YouTubers claim that... There you go. Was coming. Already knew the call was coming. Oh, snap. We're at the tinfoil trench.
Oh, snap, bro. We're diving even deeper into the tinfoil trench now, huh? So the newest YouTube banger is, oh, buddy, heard sirens. That means it was a cover-up. Cops already knew the call was coming. My guy, what in the Netflix original are we even doing right now? Let's roast this theory like it just showed up late to a Logic 101 class wearing a flat earth t-shirt, and no sirens equal to cover-up. Bro, stop the madness. So let me get this straight. At 11:56 a.m., someone calls 911 from the scene of a quadruple homicide. Police, medics, and investigators roll up fast. And because a few neighbors didn't hear sirens, YouTube Sherlocks are like, yes. Obviously, this is part of a multi-agency deep state conspiracy and not just normal police discretion. First of all, not all sirens are blasted every time. Cops don't flip on the wheel just because they're bored, especially when the scene is not chaotic or active, there's no ongoing threat, and responders are trying to keep things controlled and contained. In fact, law enforcement routinely disables sirens when approaching sensitive situations. Think suicides, overdoses, or when they're unsure what they're walking into. Why? Because surprise and calm equal to better than alerting the entire block and causing chaos. Second, you know what they did do? Lock the scene down. Within minutes of arrival, the scene was secured, locked down, flooded with officers, detectives, medics, and crime scene techs. They shut it down fast and hard, and it was reported by major media outlets within hours. A cover-up? Bro, it was on CNN faster than a chicken sandwich drop. Third, you think cops schedule murders now? The theory is, Finn already knew the call was coming, so they planned a silent response to make it look spontaneous. Like what? Was there a psychic lieutenant on duty? Guys, I just have a feeling someone's gonna report 4 bodies at 11:56. Let's get the cars warmed up. Bro, if they had that kind of predictive power, we wouldn't need trials. We just have Minority Report, Idaho edition. What actually happened? The 911 call came in nearly 8 hours after the murders, not during or right after. First responders entered a calm scene. No active killer, no crowd, no gunshots, no chase. No sirens? That's probably protocol, not a cover-up. Crime scene processing began almost immediately, and national coverage followed. Bro, bottom line, hey, no sirens and cover-up is like saying a no pizza guy knocked secret FBI sting. Sometimes people just don't hear things, or sirens aren't used, or, and stick with me here, it's not a conspiracy, it's just real life. So unless your YouTuber has a body cam, a time machine, or the surveillance footage from heaven, this theory's got the structural integrity of a pool noodle. Want this roasted into a skit, courtroom monologue?
Yep, there you go. See? Nothing. He lived alone and the extra room was empty and locked, I believe. Brian lived alone. No, yeah. Bro, out here killing it tonight, bro. Bro. Down type, show gray, true bro. Don't even know what that means, man. Wish you could type a better sentence, bro. Can you ask him to roast Ann Taylor? Why don't I ask, like, how do you think Ann Taylor is doing as Kohberger's attorney? I don't know if you heard, but she argued against letting the prosecution use a model of the house as reference, as a demonstrative aid.
Ann Taylor, Brian Kohberger's lead defense attorney, has been actively challenged.
No. But what is your opinion? Not using the articles, because it's just quoting articles now.
All right, bro. You want my take? No filters, no PDFs, no court site footnotes. Cool. Here's the straight-up no-chaser version. Ann Taylor, how's she doing? Honestly? She's doing exactly what you'd expect a competent death penalty defense attorney to do. She's fighting everything.
Right.
She's not there to win a popularity contest.
Right.
She's there to get stuff tossed out, slow the roll of the prosecution, and poke holes in every single thing they try to present. Do I think she believes Brian Kohberger is innocent? Probably doesn't matter. Her job is to make the state prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, and she's playing the game exactly how it's meant to be played. Now about that house model thing. When she objected to the prosecution using a demonstrative model of the King Road house, some people rolled their eyes like, what's the big deal? But here's the deal, bro. That model, even if it's not to scale, can seriously influence how jurors visualize the crime.
Well, we know that.
If it exaggerates.
But some demonstrative.
Line of sight like from Dylan's room to the killer. Distance between bedrooms, or angles of doors, windows. You could have a jury subconsciously drawing conclusions based on a flawed 3D Lego set. So Taylor is saying, Shane, hold up. If that thing's inaccurate and we just let it sit there next to a witness describing movements, that's not fair. That's basically CGI evidence, and she's not wrong.
That's a pretty good point.
My bro verdict, smart tactical move. It's not flashy, it's not dramatic, but it's smart lawyering. It's death penalty strategy 101. Object to everything that isn't exact, proven, or timely disclosed. You want the jury to question the integrity of every piece of the case? Even the dollhouse? Then you fight the dollhouse, because one aha moment from a juror based on a misleading visual can wreck your defense. Final thought. Ann Taylor isn't playing checkers. She's playing slow, methodical chess with a client the world already thinks is guilty. So yeah, she's doing her job. And honestly, she's doing it pretty damn well.
Right. Pretty good bro mode.
Want me to write her next objection in courtroom bro mode? Or simulate how she'd dismantle that model with
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true, what he said there, or what ChatGPT said, but I'm using a male voice. I could be using a female. I mean, I think she's doing exactly what he said there. But some of the arguments are so poorly done. But they're not gonna know it because they're not watching it. But I thought it was pretty interesting that it knew some of this stuff up here, like this part, because I think that was even mentioned. So it's kind of interesting that it had that in there. All right, who's got more super chat questions for ChatGPT? We've hit one of those massive lulls again. Trying to make up from last night. Last night we got crushed because I dared stray to cold cases. Well, it's really interesting how it all worked out. I didn't even know this did any of this. I just started asking. I have ChatGPT summarize PDF files sometimes, and then it said something incorrect in it. So then I questioned it, and then I was like, "Whoa, wow, look at that! It responds." And then I kept finding errors, and I would come back, and then eventually it switched completely over, and was like, "Whoa, I didn't realize that." And then, then I think it was M. Morgan said, try bro mode. And then it just got really hilarious. I mean, it went into the whole eyebrows. He got arrested in 2 states. One for his eyebrows and one for him. Let's see. Nah, I think we did that one time. It sort of said it was kind of a touchy issue. Alright. Well, alright, you guys. I think I'm going to call it a day. I've been on here for 2 hours and 37 minutes. Unless you have any more questions for ChatGPT. Alright. Anyways, thank you to Donna. We wouldn't even have reached the goal, though, if it wasn't for Cheryl Moran. Wouldn't even be close. It would be... Man, see, I like nights where we would have made the goal anyways. That's the way you have a good night. Instead, it's just luck. Like a lucky... So we had Donna, Alley Cake, Ann Taylor Fan Club, Cheryl Moran with a double cat eye, then Alley Cake gifted a membership, then Uniquely Susie retired hospice RN, then Donna gifted one, then Michelle H, Timothy Moore. No, actually it would have been sort of close, I guess. B-Stride, Do It Yourself, then Alley Cake gifted one, then Just Live, then Jax D, Sandy Shirley. And by the way, I think it was really cool that Rory McIlroy won the Masters. I mean, he was so emotional. He's wanted to win that for so long, and he's been so close for so long. And he'd won all the other 3 majors, and he finally has the lifetime Grand Slam. Hey, good night, Cheryl. Thanks again. Appreciate it. We got another one of those negative comments again up here. Yeah, that's your 10th time that you come in. Bye, Moofies. Bye, Moofies. Jeez. Anyways. All I asked you was a simple question the other day. That was it. Let's see. Also, we have... see how she always waits till the end of the show to get a little zinger in there? Yeah. Sarah with an H. Cinnamon Sin Freak. Von Dazen. Jen K. Alley Cake. Naomi Rollins. Melanie Summer. Alan McMahon. Sandy Shirley. Julie B. Naomi Rollins. KR gifted one. Cheryl Moran gifted one. Jax D. Then Sandy Shirley gifted 5. Then I gifted 5. Then we had Rainy Joe. Alley Cake, Naomi Rollins, Lisa L. Lisa L. Became a new member. I thought you already were one, I thought. Then Lainey Carter, Timothy Cecil, new member, and then a super chat. Then M. Morgan, Eel Lee, and Lizzie Robb. And then we had Lisa Valenzuela with a couple coffees. And then I think Paulette Leonard with a coffee. And then Ashley Yeager with a coffee. I think that might be it, right? Let me look. Yeah. And then I won a bet on a basketball channel. What happened with what? What are you talking about? Now what are you talking about, Jenna? Nobody was axed. Jesus, and you're just like you need to be on a gossip channel. I think that'd be better for you. No, they just kept trashing the mods and fighting with people. So I just said, hey, we don't really want that around here, even though it was one of the really big supporters. I don't care how much money you send in. It doesn't give you like the right to be in the chat just arguing with everybody. Like I argue with people because that's what I do in terms of, like, if you're saying something that doesn't make sense, I'm going to argue with you. But when you're just sort of trashing people, like, I remember anybody that would say anything about autism, that you're just a complete, I mean, it was just really disturbing watching. I was like kind of embarrassed. And then every day it would be like trashing different moderators. Oh, your moderators are, blah, blah, blah. It's like, geez, why would I want somebody around that does that? I mean, it sucks because you're losing somebody that was supporting the channel more than a lot of other people were. But we also did donate $1,000 to a autism fund for, in honor of her, really, because she apparently has some kids that are autistic. But, I just, there's a certain point where I just can't, after a while, it just doesn't work. And especially when you're attacking the mods that are here every day, having to deal with troll after troll after troll after troll, and to then have to deal with a channel member who's acting like a troll, then that makes it kind of difficult. You get what I'm saying, everybody? But of course, if you go on the online communities that always hate my guts, it's my fault again. It'll always be my fault. Doesn't matter what. It's always me. I'm the one that did something. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind if you're like in an argument with somebody, just kind of, but like, people argue. That's part of the life. So, anyways, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Who the hell knows what we'll be making tomorrow? But we're going to finally be getting my dad and my mom together into the sort of retirement home place that they're at. Really nice little community, and hopefully we don't have to deal with any more of this just absolutely ridiculous. It's so weird when you're having to take care of like your parents like they're kids, like when it's really kind of a bizarre situation, and now now you sort of see what it's like maybe to have young toddlers running around. I mean, it's just weird that you have to sort of kind of monitor. Hey, don't fight. Don't do this. Don't do that. Hey, watch out. Watch. But I guess that's what you got to do. It's just kind of a weird, awkward feeling. Yeah. So. Yep. Anyways, thank you guys very much for your support tonight and getting us reach the goal, etc. And special thanks to Cheryl Moran up there. You get the double cat eye in there, and then everybody else. We got a bunch of people who did 5 memberships and new members, You know, we're just going to kind of keep ramping up. I'm sure there's going to be more documents coming out soon. There's always something new. I'm more interested in the factual elements, though, and when they come out. I don't really like some of the legalese, jargony, kind of that stuff. I like the tangible, factual pieces of information where you can start putting the whole piece of the puzzle together. I think we've got it pretty good right now, but I really need to know the answer to the 2 south vehicles in a row and the what happened to the footage that was on that camera. Does it exist? Did they leave that out on purpose? Or what? I have no idea. All right. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Maybe we should do like, hey, you know what? Why don't we do one of our flybys? I feel like I need... How about we do the one where I'm at the beach again? You know, I did an actual... do you guys... I have a drone that I have these goggles with it, and I was just flying around. It's one of the coolest things ever. You guys want to watch that again? It's been a while. It's so peaceful. Kind of makes everything better. Let's do it. You guys ready for that one? Just wait around for a minute. You'll feel a lot better here in a couple minutes. I just got to go find it, because I've made so many videos lately that it's deeper down into the dregs of YouTube. March. I think it was back in October, wasn't it? Oh, there it is. I think that's it. I made this video flying in Walport, Oregon, or Walport, Oregon. You're gonna love it. Pause it where you can see me sitting on a bench. Watch. You'll see what I'm wearing. It was so amazing. Warm and sunny and see, I'm right there. Can you see that? I got my goggles on. I'm sitting on a chair with the sun hitting me and a little controller in my hand on the side over here. It's crazy. See? Right there. Isn't that wild? Oh, look at it. I went after this guy too. Where is it? Where is it? was a big seagull there. You can see the shadow of the drone falling. Yeah, isn't that cool? You know what's weird? Here's one of those things that when you look at, watch this. Here, watch. When you're watching it, so I was first watching this. What's that? Look at that right there. It looks like what kind of bird do you think that is right there? See that? What kind of bird do you think that is in the background? See it way over there? You can see it, right? See it? Got kind of a long neck on it. You see that? This is just one of those examples of what people claim. Like when they're looking at videos, they'll see something like that, right? You see that? Anybody can see that? What kind of bird do you think that is? It is uploaded alone. Nobody watched it. It's amazing. But you guys see that bird back there? I want you guys to let me know if you can see that right there. How it's walking, kind of like the long neck and everything. See right there? But what's crazy is when you keep going in on it more, it's nothing. Watch. See? It's just like something in the water and a couple little things that go there. See, that's what people do in videos a lot. They'll just point to something that looks like something, pareidolia, and say, oh, look, it's a, you know, and it's not, you know. See, it's just a piece of seaweed or something. Isn't that interesting? I mean, look at that shot right there. Wouldn't that look cool on a wall? I mean, I think this video has about 10... Like, look at this stuff. I mean, this is crazy. Like right there. Isn't that amazing looking? And I think it's some of the lower ones, like right here. Watch. Like that. I mean, come on. That would be incredible on a wall. I think even when it gets lower, it pans up a little bit. Right in here. Look at that. I think right after this wave comes by. Like boom. That would be pretty sweet. That would be sweet. Look at that. 4K. Anyways, alright you guys. thank you all for being here tonight. We will see you tomorrow. Sorry for the drama earlier. I appreciate GSU PM and support she's given the channel. She wants to come back and just be like one of the cheerful, happy, just hanging out with everybody, and that's fine too. But I just don't want it to keep going. It's just But I do appreciate everybody, and thank you for supporting the channel. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3. I've already done the rap, so.